Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Senora Planner on a Budget. I am here today to set up my monthly budget for the month of June. Now today is June 10th and I have been busy and haven't had time to do it, but here we are today because I do need to get all of my finances in order. Now, before I get started, I do want to disclose a couple of things, three things actually. Number one, my family does practice tithing, so you will never see it in our budget. I always take care of it before coming to the table and doing our monthly budget. We just feel that it's unnecessary to include it in our budget because we tithe at the beginning of the month and we just don't see that money throughout the month, so there's no reason for me to include it in our budget. Two, I am self-employed, so any business expenses, anything that has to do, any business related item is a separate account and separate budget, so you will never see that on this budget as well. And number three, we are about a month ahead in our bills. So all of the income that I am getting for the month of June is being accumulated in my bank account and will be used for July's expenses. So just kind of throwing that out there. But we can go ahead and get started here. I have here a tool notebook with a happy planner cover in the sort of big size. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's like an 8.5 by 11. I did find this notebook on clearance at Office Depot for just $2. It had a very bright, almost fuchsia pink cover on it, and I just switched it out with this cover that I had in my stockpile. I'm going to be using washi tape from Michaels, and that'll be just to kind of make it cute. I am more of a functional planner. I'm also using an Erin Condren dual tip marker. I do like the fine tip here. I don't know if you can see that. I do love the fine tip versus the medium tip. The reason why I use a disc system is because I can pull pages, add pages, rearrange as I please whenever I want. That is also true for my planners, for any planner really. I do love the disc system for that reason, just rearranging. We're gonna go ahead and get started here. I'm gonna start with the title for June 2021 budget. Now, so I'm going to use this floral washi tape. It comes in the Michaels washi pack. It's like $20. But I bought them at buy one get two free. I love planner stuff. I love stickers. Lately I've been into washi tape, and I've been into like stamps. I'm not stamps, but like the paper punchers. And I really have a large collection of all of these items. So I'm, just trying to get to use them up here. So the first thing we're gonna look at here is our income. Now, the income from my family basically comes from two places. As I mentioned before, I am self-employed. So I do run my business, and my income varies throughout every month. And that's because the more I work, like the more income I'm gonna have. The less I work, obviously the less income I'm gonna have, and it's all based on me. So there's nothing stable for me, and that can be scary, but that can also bring a lot of freedom, which is something that I can maybe talk about in a future date, a future video. If you would like to know more, please let me know. Please comment down below. with your questions or anything like that. I'm gonna try to be as clear and transparent as possible. Um, yeah, so the first income, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna write number one, and the first source is me. And for this month, yeah, for this month, I'm bringing in $4,500 for our budget. And the second income is from my husband. Now, since the pandemic hit, my husband has been on unemployment. We do have 3 children together. We came to the decision that he would be staying at home while the children are at home, simply because my income was greater than his, like him actually going to work. So, and we have the possibility to grow our income on a monthly basis. So he did receive and has been receiving the pandemic relief, and is currently on unemployment. We do not plan on having him on unemployment for forever, for the rest of our lives. He's actually transitioning into joining me in my business. And hopefully our income will be increasing over the next few months. Now the children are going into summer vacation, so that kind of changes things a little bit. Well, they will be at home and someone needs to be with them. Unfortunately, we do not have anyone to watch our children for us. My in-laws used to do that for us, but they moved out of the state, and so it is just between my husband and I, and we're doing what's best for our family. So from the unemployment money that he receives, we do tithe, and I've mentioned this before. So we tithe, and we kind of take care of other expenses, like I'm not even sure, maybe an allowance for himself or an allowance for myself through that money, allowance for the children. But the majority does come into our budget. So for this month, or for the month of June, I'm bringing in $4,500, and he is bringing $2,207, for a total of $6,707. Now, that is a lot of money, and it's not an amount that's consistent for every month. As I mentioned before, based off of how much I work, that's going to affect our income for the following month. Now, in the month of May, I didn't work as much as I normally do. I did take off a couple of days off, mainly because I buried my grandfather. So I took about, maybe like 2 weeks off in the month. So in July, you're definitely going to see a huge decrease in our income here. We're going to be relying heavily on unemployment. So for the month of July, we will have a tight budget. June has a little bit more freedom, because I did well in April. But hopefully in the upcoming months, our income increases. Our finances, basically one of the main reasons why I'm on YouTube and putting my budget out there is for the accountability. I have struggled keeping up with my budget, although I kind of look at it here and there and kind of create that monthly budget. I do not keep up with the expenses, and therefore we have debt. We use credit cards. Sometimes I use money that's meant for a different item in a different category for other things to supplement. So I'm here for the accountability, basically. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on. I know I talk a lot. I think because this is my first budgeting video, I have to disclose a lot of information. If you have any questions, if you would like to get to know me a little bit better, go ahead and comment down below. And hopefully I will get to your questions or comments in the near future. So I'm just gonna go ahead and lay down this washi here. I want to separate our income portion from our expenses. And I just want to remind you that each family has different expenses. We prioritize differently. And honestly, I am not here to judge. I'm actually here to support the community. I have been on this community for the past maybe like 3 years, 2 to 3 years, I want to say. My favorite person to watch was Romina Rosa. I have come back into the budgeting community after maybe a year hiatus, just recently in March or April. And coming back, I have seen so many changes with budgeting, and it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see how much it has changed and how far people have come. All right. So up next we have our expenses. Now I like to separate these into fixed expenses and variable expenses, and that is because that helps me stay organized. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna try to create like 2 main columns when we have fixed to the left, variable to the right. Now what I struggle with here is keeping track of especially for variable, what I actually spent throughout the month. And that is because I don't really track my like weekly or daily expenses, or purchases that I've made or stuff like that. But I'm going to try very hard for this month to do that. So expenses, first up we have fixed here. What I'm going to do, I want to have 2 subcategories for my fixed expenses. The first one is category, or the name of my bill. And second, I'm just going to use this bookmark that I have here to create the space. Actually, let's do, I do have a mock budget to my right here that I'm referring back to. That's why I know what to do here. Try to make it as crisp and clear on camera. All right, so my first category, so I'm gonna have 2 sub kind of sections. My first one is category, so category of my bill, and then second will be amount. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do it a little bit more. I feel like in the future I'm probably going to be using different colored markers. That is another thing that I like to do. My brain likes to color code things. Helps me stay organized. So maybe in the future, next month I will do that. Actually, maybe next month I will be transitioning to a digital budget. I do have an iPad, and I have been inspired by, I think it's Pink X Budgets. I love how she uses her iPad, and I have been creating my own spreads, but I just haven't had time to finish it. So maybe in the month of July, we will see that. I'm gonna go ahead and set up. Let me use a different. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and use this pink Tombow marker, the 723. And what I'm gonna do with it is just create another like column. I just really want to keep everything separate. Yes, so to my left are my fixed expenses. To my right will be my variable expenses. All right, so for my variable, I also want to have a couple of subcategories here, and it looks like I want to have 4. First, I'm going to number them here like I did on the left side here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have to be careful with how big I make my categories. If they're too big, I'm not gonna have enough space. So let's do the actual category. It's called a category. Again, that'll be the name of the bill or the category in which you know, the money will fall under. I'm gonna write EST, representing estimate. Actually, I'm gonna write it out, estimate. So the amount of money of what I am allocating towards this category, because life happens, it can actually change. How much I spend can be different than how much I estimate to be. And then finally, I'm gonna do a plus and minus section to see kind of what exactly that difference was. So let's do here. Now, as I do this, I just want to go ahead and thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I have decided, well, as I mentioned before, I have been in the budgeting community for the past maybe 2 years. I just have been afraid to create my own channel. And as I came back to it just a couple months ago, recently this year, I have been inspired to just do it, you know. And I guess I don't really have anything to lose. I mean, maybe I am putting myself out there and I guess making myself susceptible to maybe trolls or people judging me and my budget, the way I do things for my family. But at the end of the day, I know from experience that the budgeting community is very supportive. And I think at the end of the day, we all have one goal, and that is to slay our financial situation. And that is essentially what I'm here for, you know. I want to better myself for my kids, for their future. I have financial goals I want to reach. And if I don't do this, I won't be able to reach those financial goals. So again, just thank you for taking the time out of your day to be here. I love watching budgeting videos. I'm just gonna wipe this out for a little bit here so it could be centered a little bit better. Let's remind us. Oh well. Okay. Let's see. All right, so now that that is set up, we're gonna continue with fix. Okay. So for my fixed expenses, I really have 11, but I did 12 because variable has 12. So my first one is rent. Now I do pay a very high amount of $22.50. And that is because I rent in the city of Los Angeles. I'm in Los Angeles, California. I'm not gonna go ahead and pinpoint specifically where in LA I am, but everything here in California is so expensive, and so my rent is $22.50. One of my financial goals is to become debt-free and purchase a home. I know I don't have to be completely debt-free to purchase a home, but you know, that is a goal, at least to become a homeowner in the near future. I'm thinking if I do well with my business and we take control of our finances, that we will be becoming homeowners at the end of 2022. Let's see. All right, second one here, my categories, I'm just gonna list them out. I do pay for Hulu, that is $1.99. I think I got like a New Year's special. I do have identity theft insurance with Xander. This is something that Dave Ramsey recommends, and I've been paying for it for over a year. Our car insurance, this one is $104. We have 2 cars, kind of older cars, and I think we're just paying like the bare minimum. So liability, I'm gonna write B of A, and that is that monthly maintenance fee that they have. Sometimes I get charged it and sometimes I don't. It obviously depends on like the requirements that they have. I don't know. Spotify, I do love listening to music. I travel a lot for my work. I drive a lot every day. I'll be on the road for hours. So I love listening to music on Spotify, ad-free. Auto, and we actually have the family plan, so I share it with my husband. So yeah, $12.99. Auto, okay, so I'm the only one paying for my car. So I pay $3.50 a month for that, and I should be done paying that off in the next year or so. Hopefully sooner, if I continue with my financial journey here and get everything on track. Netflix, $13.99. Capital One. Okay, so my husband and I have a total of 3 credit cards right now. The first one is for Capital One J, is for John, for my husband. The second one here is Capital One D for myself, and he has a Merrick credit card. I have paid off these 2 in this month, so we will see that in our weekly check-in at some time in the future, and kind of, you know, explain that a little bit more there. But our minimum payment is $25 for each. Merrick, however, is $35. And that is it for my total expenses. I'm sorry, for my fixed expenses. I'm going to draw the line here. Add up my totals. Actually, write the word totals here with my tumble. Also dual tip. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out my iPad here. I want to use the calculator app that I downloaded to add the totals up here. So hopefully this is in frame. So what I'm going to do is $22.50 plus $199 plus $12.90 plus 104 plus 25, 25, 35. Okay. Wow. All right. So for a total of my fixed expenses is $2,842 with 87 cents. Okay. So I went ahead and wrote that in here. I'm going to move on to my variable expenses here, and this is going to include my expenses obviously that are variable, so they change month to month, and yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much to it. So first we have T-Mobile. Now the order that I'm writing them in makes sense to me. The first few, you're gonna see that they are bills that no matter what I have to pay. However, and unfortunately, they do fluctuate on a monthly basis, and there are many factors to that. So I have T-Mobile, Edison. So T-Mobile is our phone carrier. Edison is for our electricity. SoCal Gas, our gas company. Karate. So my oldest does karate. Right now he has been doing virtual karate, and it's $6 per class, and he takes class every Wednesdays at 6. So I basically pay at the beginning of the month. If he misses a session, the sensei rolls the credit over to the following week, so it pushes it out. So this can vary a bit, and depending on how many Wednesdays there are in a month. Haircuts. Now, we get haircuts for my husband and my 2 boys. That I don't know if that's gonna come off or if we're gonna use that money at all. And that is because we have a family friend of ours who is going into the haircut business, and he has offered to cut our boys' hairs and I guess just my boys' hairs for free, so that one, he gets the experience, and two, anyway, we're helping each other out. Food, obviously we need to eat. A gas screen. So gas screen is money that I set aside for my husband's car. So he has a green car, and that's what that is here. Church. Now we go to church, and some of our income goes towards some activities in church, and maybe in the future I will go into depth about this. Right now, just know that it is a category that depend on. Up next is laundry. Where we live, we do not have a washer dryer hookup. It's unfortunate for the amount that we're paying to live here, but that is what we have right now currently. So we do have to go out to a laundromat to get our laundry done. My next category is consumables, and for me, consumables are like shampoo, detergent, just cleaning supplies, everything that gets used up throughout the month. And I will just take that money, buy them from Target or Sam's or Costco, wherever I go shop for my groceries, and I purchase our consumables there. All right, so the next two are a little iffy, and maybe I will go into more details also in the future. But for now, we're gonna call them sinking funds. and I'm sure most of you know what sinking funds are. Slash miscellaneous. And again, I will explain this later, maybe in a different video. And unbudgeted. And the reason why I'm including unbudgeted is because, you know, unbudgeted expenses happen. So I will be allocating 0 to this because I don't want to move away from the budget that I'm going to set up here, but it does happen. Estimate. All right, so for T-Mobile for the month of June, I'm estimating, well, actually I got my bill, that I have to pay $206.14. Edison, $16.68. $25.93 for SoCal Gas. Karate is $54, and that is because we have 4 Wednesdays that I need to pay for, plus his uniform that my son needs to purchase, so it adds up to $54, or at least that's what I'm estimating. Haircuts, I normally spend $60, especially since they're staying mainly at home. They're only getting haircuts like once a month, so $60 should be more than enough. Food. Now, food category is where I tend to overspend. And basically, sometimes I have a problem with it and sometimes I don't. But we're a family of 5, and for now I'm allocating $700. I pray and then I actually stay in that budget, within that budget, but I struggle. We struggle. We all struggle. All right, for gas, $100. My husband just uses his car to take the kids to school, come back, run a few errands. Yeah, it really, I'm sure $100 is way more than enough, but for this month I'm going to allocate $100 for church. Now, this one is something personal, but it is in our budget, and that I will be allocating $600. Laundry, I'm going to allocate $150. Consumables, $100. And sinking funds for this month, just for this month, is $18.51. I know, such a large number, but again, hopefully I will be creating a different video where this is explained a little bit better as to why that is such a large amount. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this up. I did create the actual, so hopefully next month or at the end of this month I'm gonna come back in to fill this in and see if I actually stayed within budget or spent over or spent less than what I have budgeted for. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add this up. I'm going to use my iPad again to calculate this. So 206.14, 1668, 25.93 plus 54 plus 60, 700 plus 100 plus 600, 150, 100, 1851. All right, so that is a total of $3,863.75. So I'm just gonna go ahead and write this in over here. I'm going to, let's see, I think I'm gonna divide this with a little bit more washi here. Let's do this. I hope it's not a pet peeve of yours to have rigid edges in my washi. As I mentioned before, I'm more of a functional planner more than a decorative, It's just a little pop there. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add this number and this number. So just write total here. 284287 plus 3863.75. Oops, wow, that was horrible. Horrible, I tell you, horrible. So whoa, I didn't realize that the phone did this. Let's see, Valentine's. Okay. Oh, I don't know. All right, that is a lot of pink for this situation here. All right, so let's add this up. 2842.87 plus 3863.75. So that adds up to 6706 with 62 cents. And as you can see here, my income is 6707. So there's, you know, the difference is a couple of cents, which I don't mind, as long as we are, so it's a difference of 38 cents. As long as, you know, we're within the budget, I should be fine. Yeah, so let's see. This was right. All right, so the estimated budget for June is 6,000. Basically, my expenses is 6,706. So I think that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch my video and joining me in my financial journey. Hopefully I can provide more consistent videos, mainly for accountability myself. I'm not even sure if anyone's gonna watch this, but if you do watch this, go ahead and leave a comment below. Let me know when, or an estimate as to when you joined the budgeting community. I joined the budgeting community about 2 years ago, so in 2019. Basically, I was getting tired of living paycheck to paycheck, although it has taken us a few years, 2 years to be exact, to come out of that, I guess, system. But it's hard. My family and I have struggled throughout the years, but thankfully we are in a better place now, and we have financial goals that we want to reach. So hopefully this will get us there, God willing. With God's help and a little bit of structure and accountability, we will get there. All right, well, thank you for watching. Have a great one. Bye.